Hey, thanks for joining us at another awesome episode brought to you by the virtual open house guys. I'm Shane Tracy, broker of Good to Go Realty. As you can see, we're in a little bit different setting, and we've actually got a special guest, Hunter Weekly. He is a new home sales counselor with Chesmar Homes out here at Regency Ranch. And want to give you something else to look at except my beautiful face, right?
I'm not sure mine's much better.
We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And I want to find out, first of all, why Chesmar Homes? What really gives people the pause to say, you know what, Chesmar's it for me?
You know, that's a great question, Shane. Chesmar, we were recently acquired by now one of the largest conglomerate builder in the world, Sakasui House.
Really?
And they're based out of Japan. And
Okay.
if anybody's bought a Toyota, then you know why that's so important. And their influence on us and our ability to be able to adapt and change and give this almost a semi-custom experience out here is so important. And with their tight tolerances for the build and how we design it and how they strive for the perfection has now bled down into the Chesmar family, that is causing us to, our model is always being setting a higher standard, but now it's setting the highest standard.
Highest standard. Got it.
And it's hard. I'm not going to lie. Some of the stuff that comes down, you're like, wow, we got to do what now? But at the end of the day, it's going to make for a better home, a better experience, and a better investment for the customer. Absolutely.
Well, and I mean, just think about it. You know, this could be the biggest investment somebody does make in their entire lives.
100%. I mean, statistics show the average American's wealth is going to be tied up into the equity of their home.
Right.
So you're not going to go make a shaky investment on Wall Street that could lose its value or something like that if you're putting your whole nest egg into that. So when you build a home, you want to be sure that where you build, your area, your builder, and your community, we call that the ABCs, are at the pinnacle of your list. That way, that'll give you a sound investment in your ROI on that. Well, I mean, heck, we've seen what's happened just in the last 10 years with property values.
Right.
So it's only going to get better.
Right. And so that brings me to my next point. Why buy or build a new home versus a pre-existing home?
Well, I mean, Shane, it's really boils down to customer experience and your wants, needs, and desires. When you buy an existing home, you're buying somebody else's wants, needs, and desires, and you're somehow fitting it into your box.
There you
right?
go.
You're justifying it to yourself. Well, I can make this room work, or I mean, yeah, I guess if we did this and this with it, it could happen. You know, and you could get into the old sales strategies of the toenails in the carpet and babies made in this room and stuff like that. But that's really not it. The advantage to a new home build, like with Chesmar here, is when you come to me, I am going to sell you on value and your lifestyle. We want to imagine happier with all of this. We're not going to discuss, we're not worried about price and all that kind of stuff at the beginning in the moment. It's tell me, how do you live your life, Shane? When you come home, what do you do? What your evenings look like? What do your Sunday mornings look like? Are they fast-paced? Are they slow? Do we drink coffee on the porch? Are there kids running around? Is it just you and your wife? I want to know those things. And what we're going to do, instead of trying to force you to fit into a box, the whole, square peg and a round hole kind of thing, I'm going to build a round hole for you. And I'm going to make the home fit your lifestyle and your dreams and your desires of how you live. And I promise you, just like buying clothes, going and buying just some generic suit from JCPenney that, okay, it kind of fits, it gets the job done for the funeral or whatever, versus going and having a suit built and tailored to you to fit. They're both suits.
Right.
They both had a price tag.
Yep.
They both accomplished the same thing. But how do you feel and look when you show up in a custom tailored suit that fits you? Your confidence level goes up. Look good, feel good, be good. And people notice that every time.
Absolutely.
And that is kind of the way that I look at a new home build is, you know what, are there good deals to be had on the resale side? Absolutely. You're going to find somebody that's got a short sale or a quick sale and they got to get out because they're moving, they're PCSing if they're in the military. And there's good deals and value to be had in that. But when I'm living in a home, I am living in it. This isn't a rental property. This is my home where my wife, my kids, and my extended family are going to come visit me. I don't want the second tier. I want to present the best to my family, and I want us to be able to live. I don't want to have to make sacrifices on my lifestyle and how I live and try to justify this room or the size of my family room or the fact that I don't have double ovens when I really wanted double ovens, or I don't have double islands when, man, I've always wanted that, but I saved 10 grand by buying this home over here. And the whole time, and I tell my customers this, like even when they're building and designing, and you have a husband and wife, and we're sitting on the couch over here, and they're tripping over, do I want this countertop or the double oven feature
Right,
or something
right.
like that? The cost of that is minimal compared to the long-term impact. And I look at the husband oftentimes and I'll say, Shane, here's what I want you to do. I want you to make decisions based on this. I do not want you to be sitting on this couch in this living room in your home 6 months or a year into the future, and your wife be sitting there drinking her coffee and go, babe, I wish we would have just
Oh,
fill in the blank, right?
Yep.
Because I mean, all right,
Yep.
so you spend 3 grand on putting double ovens in the home. What's that affect your mortgage by? Probably less than what this cup of coffee is, right? And so you have to live on a budget, and we understand that, and we're going to make those things fit your budget. But that's why it's like, hey, tell me what's important.
Right.
If the kitchen's the important spot, let's focus our dollars and our energy and time on that. If you could care less about the secondary bathroom, let's just put some standard features in there, get the job done with it. That's the JC Penney suit, right? But in here is where we're going to have that tailored fit look and feel. Maybe it's your master suite or your back patio. Maybe Shane, it's the home site. Where do you want your sun to set? How do you want your views to be? How do
Yep.
you enjoy your nights? How do you live in your home and on your property? That's the advantage, in my opinion, of a new home build versus buying a resale.
You bring up a lot of great points, and you talk about where the sun sets and where you want your home to be positioned. You've got quite a few sites here, from my understanding, right?
Yes, sir.
And these are all 1 acre tracts.
1 acres, every one of them.
Man, that's absolutely phenomenal. So you've got more than enough room for anything that you may need and or want, right?
It's funny. We have people come into the community all the time, and they're used to going into the conventional neighborhood where it's house, 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 and you maybe have a little bit of space between the homes. And they'll see 2 homes, and they'll see a gap between 2 homes, and they're like, I kind of like that lot right there. And I'm looking, I'm like, which one? And they're like, this one here between the 2 homes says there's not a lot there. They're like, well, what's going to be built there? I'm like, nothing. That's half of it's this guy's yard and half of it's that guy's yard. And they're like, wait, nothing's going to be built between these homes? No, it's an acre. And an advantage to that, Shane, is if you want to build a beautiful shop building behind your home that matches the home, you have to get it all approved by the HOA. But yes, you can. You don't have to worry about, will my swimming pool fit?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
these are not things we worry about. And I do. And I have about 14 of these home sites left here in Unit 1. We're only going to have 2 phases.
2 phases.
That's it. So you're looking at there's 27 lots in phase 1. We're looking at 26, 27 lots in phase 2.
Okay.
And that's it. You're done.
So it's going to be a nice, quaint community.
And where else are you going to get that, Shane, where you're in the country? Like, we're going to sit out here and we're going to watch 10-point bucks walk around. We're going to watch the dove land in your yard. We're going to watch the sunset over just the vast wilderness that's behind this place. But in 5 minutes, I'm on I-35. In 10 minutes, I'm on I-10. In 5 minutes, I'm on 78 headed straight to Randolph Air Force Base. I get under 10 minutes from New Braunfels, and I'm under 10 minutes from Schertz-Cibolo area. HEB will still deliver groceries to your door here, but it gives you that over the river and through the woods to grandma's house we go feel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you move here, this is the quintessential point of I've made it, where it's like I've had the high stress career, maybe a military officer, maybe a CEO of a company, doctors, lawyers, pilots. These are all my clientele I have here, and they live a very stressful life at work, making big decisions, and it's chaotic and busy and hustle and bustle. And they come here and it's peace, it's quiet, and it's tranquility. And this is where they get to come home to their resort and just relax. That's what makes this place special.
Well, on that, folks, we're going to stop part one of discovering Regency Ranch, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Hey, thanks for joining us for the second part of discovering Regency Ranch by Chesmar Homes out here in Marion, Texas. And I have with me our special guest of Chesmar Homes, Hunter Weekly. And where are we at now?
Oh, this is my favorite room, man.
Yeah?
This is the media room that comes standard in this home, by the way.
Okay, wow. And so out here in Marion, Texas, as you talked about the peace and the quiet, your own sanctuary, if you will.
Your resort.
Yeah, yeah. With 1 acre tract homes out here, what would you say is going to be the most attractive feature of the homes that you all build out here?
We refer more to like the standard features that come with the home or the experience?
I would say more of the standard features.
Okay. So some really great things, and we kind of have a motto that we like to go by out here, and that is, do you like what you see? You've seen the other shots of the kitchen and the family, and now here we are in the media room, that you can reasonably replicate and duplicate the look and feel of our model homes, Shane, at or near the base price. So
Okay.
we're not going to nickel and dime you on these things. The standard features are amazing through the roof, and some inclusions that you don't hear a lot from other builders, like four sides masonry, the interior fireplace, 8-foot doors, foam attic insulation, that beautiful cafe range out there, and J-Craft custom cabinets, things of those natures. That's just all part of it.
That's standard.
That's standard, and you
Wow.
can tweak and edit those as you want.
True.
And add to and things, but we're going to start at that level. And for the most people, they're good there, and then some people are they tweak it and make it theirs.
Okay. Okay. And so, along with that, what is the experience that people should expect out here at your community?
You know, you can go anywhere and buy a home. It's all sticks and bricks. The difference is, and that's the old saying, right? People won't remember what you said or what you did or things like that, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Right.
I have a requirement. If you come and you build with us, you have to be my friend. And if you have a barbecue after you move in, you have to invite me.
How about that?
So you do, I know it sounds cliche, but you become family. And a lot of my clients, previous clients, are some of my closest friends today. One helped me plan my wedding and helps plan my wife's birthday parties and things like that. I mean, these people become, you and I have built a friendship over
Yep.
the years. And so the experience is about trust and competence, right? So if you can trust me, and I'm a likable person, hopefully, and you trust me, I'm likable, and I can display my competency to you in home building, in sales, in your design and paperwork, and all the things and components to go with it, then you will then have the confidence in me and Chesmar to move forward. That when you're at work or you're back at home while your new home's under construction, you don't have this underlying stress and anxiety about where am I fixing to get screwed.
Uh-huh.
And we don't want that. I want to knock those barriers down and let you know this is an open door. I'm an open book, and I am your friend, and I'm not here to ever take advantage of you, ever. That's it.
That says a lot. That says a lot. Well, let's shoot for our part 3 coming up, and we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back and show you even more of this gorgeous home here at Regency Ranch. Thanks for joining us once again. This is the virtual open house, guys. I'm Shane Tracy, broker of Good to Go Realty, and we're here at Regency Ranch with our special guest, Hunter Weekly of Chesmar Homes. And one of the things that when it comes to especially new homes,
Yes.
there can be lots of incorrect information maybe when it comes to being represented or not being represented in this big transaction that people will take full advantage of. So what is your point of view on, are you better off being represented or not being represented?
Well, I mean, if we go about life when we make decisions and we're basing those decisions on, advantages or disadvantages of doing whatever that decision is, that's tend to how we make our choice.
Right.
Well, there is no advantages to not having your agent. Okay. But there definitely are some advantages to having an agent. Some of the most obvious ones, Shane, is if your customer is out of town or they work 7 days a week and they don't have time to go out and see their home quite a bit. Well, then that means you, on their behalf, can go out and check in a non-biased format, right? It's not coming from the builder and say, hey guys, I went out there and I did this or I did that. Another advantage, and this is honestly coming from me as an NHC, not even the customer's perspective,
Okay.
is when the customer's at work or they're out of town, or a lot of my clientele works for the DOD and different government agencies, that when they clock in, their phone goes in a lockbox.
That's a really good point.
And I can't reach them.
Right.
And I need confirmation on something. And oftentimes you are part of that process, whether it's during a design appointment or contract. I just a real quick question. I have my builder literally standing on the other side of my desk, waiting to know what to tell the guy on the phone. And I can call their agent, their representation. I mean, you are there to literally be their spokesperson. I can say, Shane, hey, got a question about X, Y, and Z. Did we want to go left or right on this issue? And you'll be like, yep, I remember discussing about this. We definitely want to go right. Okay, great. Thank you. Hang up. So whereas that decision could get severely delayed because by the time that customer gets back to me, it's the next day or the following night. Then I have to reach out to my builder and maybe the weekends in between. And now we've lost a week, right? So quickly like that. Another thing is, you and I do real estate transactions almost on a daily basis. We're used to this. We understand how construction works, how new home construction works, and residential construction, which is different than commercial and other things. And we see things that are quite normal to us.
Right.
But to the average buyer, to the average customer, they might buy 2, 3, 4 homes or so in their whole life. Their whole life. This is not a daily thing for them. They buy a home and they live in it for several years or even decades. And things change along those processes. So when they come in to a home that's under construction and they see, oh my God, that's not my backsplash that I picked out, they go into full panic mode, right? Because they're spending a lot of money. This is their baby and they want it to be beautiful. You and I know that happens all the time. This vendor mixed up this street address with this street address, and he went in and it didn't have backsplash in the home, so he just put it up. But that backsplash was for this home over here. It happens.
Yep.
Now, if I pick up the phone and call the customer and tell them that, or that, hey, this broken piece of framing over here, or a broken window, which again is going to happen through it.
Yep.
If you build a home and we don't get at least a broken window in it, it's almost like it's jinxed. It's like, hang on, what's going to happen after they close?
Uh-oh.
It's not a perfect process. It's a very imperfect process, and it's built by human hands. Well, when I go to explain that to a customer, I could see how it would come off as biased because I'm representing Chesmar. I'm representing the big bad builder, right? And customers kind of sometimes will put a wall up and they won't really hear, or they don't take what you say, maybe just with a grain of salt. But when it comes from you, this is a non-biased, independent decision. You're like, hey guys, no, it doesn't matter if it's Chesmar or XYZ builder. These things happen. It's totally normal. They're going to take care of it. I've seen it a million times before.
Absolutely.
This is not a big deal. And that's going to bring their temperature down.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to make them feel more at ease and relaxful. Because when it's coming from you, you don't work for Chesmar or whichever home builder it is. You're not representing the builder. You're representing the client, the customer. And so when you say it, it has a little more authority than when I'm defending the position of the builder on my side, because, well, my checks are signed by the builder.
Yeah.
And, it really, really helps. And again, the advantages to not having an agent, zero. You don't get a cheaper home. You don't, there's no fairy dust that falls out of the sky when you don't have an agent. But when you do, there's so many advantages, and it doesn't cost the customer. They're not paying for that. That is a service provided by the builder, paid for by the builder. and by the seller of wherever you're at. And so there's definitely making choices based on advantages, disadvantages. I can't find any advantages to not have your agent represent you, and I can find tons of them that do give you advantages for having your agent represent you. And again, even from the NHC side, it helps me. It helps me so much when there is a point of contact I can reach.
You bring up a good point about the temperature level and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that this is not something that your regular individual goes through on a regular basis like we do.
Right.
And so there's already kind of repeating what you're saying, but it is worth repeating. There's already a heightened stress level with the whole idea of buying, having a home built,
Right.
or even buying it when it's complete. And part of what I'm here to do is lower that stress level through proper communication, through thorough explanation of things, and making sure that everyone's comfortable with where we're looking, and the price point and the features of the home and all of that, to make it what my clients are looking for. And when you have proper communication between us and with a client, I tell you that makes a huge difference, because of the fact, like I said, people aren't used to doing this.
Sure.
We are, and there's just so much that goes into it that you may not even expect, may surprise us even. But we do know at the end of the day that Chesmar Homes, in this case, is going to make it right. Whatever it may be, because our client has to be able to be happy at the end.
3 points of contact is always stronger. And, even if you think like OSHA requirements, you're climbing a ladder, you need to have 3 points of contact at all times. And even in this transaction where you have 1, 2, and the client's the third, it's just, trust me, a tricycle is a lot more stable than a bicycle.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more forgiving. And I believe the customer will have a better experience because you can even come in and share experience of your former customer. Right. Again, from a non-biased position, because if it's coming from me, it's probably going to seem or feel as if it might be biased. But when it comes from you and you're like, hey, I've built with this builder, that builder, and that builder, this has happened, this is normal, this is not, I've had the experience over there. Over here, this was a lot better. Well, of course they expect to hear that from me. But you or any agent out there, that's what they're looking for, you to be that guiding light, to bring that peace, that comfort, and that security, and help eliminate some of those anxieties.
That's right.
And that's worth gold.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, because you want to get those stressors out of the equation as quickly and as fully as possible.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we're all after the same goal of making our clients happy with the home that they want.
That's right.
And it doesn't get better than that, as far as I'm concerned.
There's no disadvantages and tons of advantages to it, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us for this on-site virtual open house guys episode. And by the way, if you're wondering about this gorgeous home, we have the full video tour of this on our Good to Go Realty YouTube channel, and check that out. It's a really popular one for sure. You'll love the home, and let me know how I can assist you with any questions that you have about the home buying, home building process. And I'd love to introduce you to my friend and partner here, Hunter Weekly, here at Regency Ranch.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great day.